Welcome to News Today, a PodNu service. Today is Sunday, March 20th, 2022, Central European Time. ESPN staff writer Brett Okamoto reports that London is when Tom Aspinall won the main event of UFC Fight Night on Saturday. He told me that he was taking it easy against Alexander Volkov because he had a lot of respect for Volkov's strength. And he still took Volkov down in the first round, ending a night of memorable fights with a big win for Aspinall's future in the heavyweight division, which was a good thing for him. In the UFC, Dana White says that if a fighter wants to be a star, they have to win. That is the most important thing. And, of course, he's right. It's important to win. However, some guys win, but not all of them become stars. He could be because of these reasons. Because he's so good at what he does, this is the first time he's ever been to a third round in his whole life. He's also a good talker. He's nice. Is not the typical trash talker, but Aspinall will make you care about his fights on their own. It doesn't hurt to fight out of a place where you already have a lot of people who are excited about you. On Saturday, White gave a lot of praise to the English MMA scene and said he would return soon. In the future, if Aspinall keeps winning and this country gets on board with what he's doing, he could be a huge star in the future. I've thought this way for a while. I understand why people want to pump the lightweights. Lightweight has a lot of big names in it, and recently, it's been filled with a lot of big names. Conor McGregor is the name of the person who won the fight. Khabib Nurmagomedov is the name of the person who beat him in the fight. Nate Diaz is the name of the person. Full of stars. Bantamweight is also great. The best pound-for-pound boxer in the world is Petr Yan. But on Saturday, the Alan Hooker fight was the one that was the most interesting to look at. Alan is being thrown under the bus because he isn't loud on the mic and hasn't fought in high-profile fights, but he is an exceptional artist. When you have won 9 fights in a row, who knows? A top 3 player in his league? We haven't been in the right place to find out yet. It's still hard to forget that Max Holloway is still around. Take a look at what Calvin Kattar did in the last show he did. There is a bad division in the UFC right now. Featherweight is the best. The best post-fight memories I have are from a UFC Fight Night event in Greenville, South Carolina, in June 2019. The event was held in Greenville. A lot of the fighters and their teams and UFC staff went to a rooftop bar on Main Street after the fights. McCann was one of the people who came. During the night, a replay of the event was shown on the screens. McCann's fight came on at one point, and it was very interesting to see McCann went crazy when she saw herself beat Ariane Lipski by a decision. They all looked at McCann moving on the screen as she danced with her own body. It was a great moment, and she had another one on Saturday when she hit Luana Carolina with a spinning elbow. So much of McCann's love for her job comes through in the way she works. She may enjoy it more than anyone else on the team. Afterward, McCann did a victory lap around the outside of the octagon in London. He hugged Dana White and, somehow, made a UFC belt out of thin air from the crowd to finish the victory lap. It was just like Meatball Molly. Will McCann ever be a title challenger? She might never get there. There is still a long way to go for McCann to get into the UFC. But will Meatball Molly bring the fun every time he goes out to play? That's for sure. ESPN staff writer Mark Raimondi reports that Saturday wasn't the first fight Topuria took part in this week. She also took part in a fight on Wednesday. They got into a fight at the Fighter Hotel in London a few days ago. He threw a bottle of hand sanitizer at Topuria before he, his team, and Pimblett were split up. Topuria started the fight because Pimblett had said negative things about the Republic of Georgia, where Topuria has roots, on Twitter in recent months. This is why Topuria started the fight. As for Pimblett, he was on the UFC London card as well, but he didn't fight Topuria. Topuria was a big favorite before the fight because he was facing Pimblett's English friend, Jai Herbert. But Topuria was also moving up from featherweight to lightweight, which was dangerous and maybe a little on Pimblett's mind. In the first round, those things started to happen, as well as a left high kick from Herbert that almost knocked Topuria out. When Topuria was tuned up for most of the first 5 minutes, something changed in the second round. His big overhand right knocked out Herbert, who may have been getting a little too excited about his moves. In the end, it was a very clean knockout for Topuria, who now has 3 straight violent KOs on his record. After he won, Pimblett was called out by him. There is a good chance that Topuria, who was born and raised in Germany and now lives in Spain, is still best at featherweight. But who wouldn't want to see Pimblett and Topuria fight it out in a matchup of 2 people who don't like each other at all? All respect to Paddy Pimblett, who is always going. Mohamed Moukaf, 21, looks like he will be a champion in the future. When Tom Aspinall turns 28, he will be only 28 years old. People in the United Kingdom have a lot of good chances in the UFC and other places. Jack Shore is right there with them all. Shore, who is from Wales, didn't get the main event or even the main card billing at UFC London on Saturday. But boy did he put on a show. Timur Valiev was a very tough opponent for Shore, but he was able to use his great wrestling and boxing skills to win. Shore even dropped Valiev twice in the 3rd round with his boxing. It's been 5 straight UFC wins for Shore, who is now 16-0. At 27, he's still very young. UFC bantamweights are stacked to the rafters at the top. They're also very deep in the middle. But when we talk about it from now on, let's add Shore to the list of people to keep an eye on. Next, he should be ready to take on someone like Ricky Simon or Umar Nurmagomedov. Shore's wrestling helped him get this far, but against Valiev, he showed a lot of improvement in his hands and fundamentals, which helped him get the win. Those skills can help him go a long way, even in a very competitive field of work.